Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for the week of July 22nd. You start with this Taurus card. This is like the second time this has happened to you, but it says perseverance. Remember, slow and steady wins the race. Awaken your inner bull to give you patience. You have this make your mark. It says stick to a decision and don't allow any outside forces to sway you. And I'm pretty sure that in your mid-monthly reading, was all about kind of like picking a focus and sticking with it. And so I feel for you to make your mark in the world that you need to kind of pick a focus and stick with it and make something happen. I definitely have been getting that energy for you. I think it's all about freedom for you. And, but I also feel that you have a lot of ideas, or, you have different things that you would like to experience in your life. The Five of Wands can be conflict or competition. But, personally, I don't really look at the Five of Wands as a bad card. It's like, these people are using sticks to fight. They're not using swords. So they're learning how to fight. But you could be learning from kind of like internal conflict, especially if you're being pulled in many different directions. A cow right here as well. There you go, Taurus. But, again, I kind of feel like you could be feeling pulled towards wanting to do a lot of things in your life. And I just feel that the whole entire reading is basically saying, pick one thing and make it happen right here. You have the Ace of Swords to that star. The Ace of Swords is laser-like focus, and the star is about having a North Star, or, having one focus, having one thing that you choose to go out and accomplish. And, I would say that with the Emperor here, that the Emperor is saying once you take control and you make that one, you start taking the steps necessary to make that one thing happen, you will be victorious. So I would start, taking the steps. I also think that it's super interesting that you have the Five of Wands to the Five of Swords. The Five of Swords would be winning the battle. So, even though the Five of Swords can represent a separation and, all that other stuff, I kind of feel this is a much bigger picture reading. I feel like it's saying that you are needing to focus on, accomplishing one great thing so that you can accomplish more in your life. But the Five of Wands, like I said, could be like the inner conflict between, what's working, what's not working. I also kind of feel like if you're spreading yourself too thin with the Five of Wands, then you're not able to see what is working and what's not working again. So, like I said, I think that there is a little bit of conflict here with the Five of Wands, but I think it's more conflict in the sense that you're spreading yourself too thin. So, like I said, I would pull back your focus, or, make sure you're not trying to do 900 things at once, and I would stay focused with this energy as well. I also feel that you're being shown like who to invest in and who not to invest in right here, going to the Six of Pentacles, then we go up to the Two of Cups. So some of you could be kind of like learning from the people around you, especially your closest relationships. And we're not just talking about love here. We're talking about every relationship in your life. And, again, the Five of Wands is kind of jumping out to me in your reading. Every once in a while when I do a reading, there will be a card that really stands out to me. And in your reading, it's the Five of Wands and also the Star. But I feel like that Five of Wands is saying you're learning a lot from the people around you. You have the Ace of Swords. I feel like you need to listen to what you're hearing, is what this is saying. It's like I just said, you're learning a lot from the people around you, but I also feel that for whatever reason I'm getting listening, I'm not getting seeing. She has a blindfold on. She could easily take that blindfold off, but there's something about listening popping into my head here with the Eight of Swords. So again, there might be people who can help focus you, or who can help guide you. And, I would make sure that you're just listening to the people around you as far as like what you should be doing and, what to do, what not to do. You have this mermaid. It says femininity, allure, and charm. You have this African lynx. It says silence, body language, and prophecy. Silence. Isn't that interesting? And look at the big ears on this African lynx here, too. It's like time for you to listen, time for you to tap in, and you are the sign of femininity. I can't even say that word, but that you are Taurus, the Empress. So feminine energy. And again, this could just say that embracing that feminine energy would be a good idea for you. You have the Emperor here. And sometimes when I have a reading where I just get the Emperor or the Empress, it tells me that the other side needs to be balanced out. So it's like you have the Emperor energy, but maybe you need to balance out the feminine energy. And, she doesn't have to force things to happen. And that's what's popping into my head with this mermaid or, empress, whatever you want to call it. And, I feel like this is saying, if you're forcing something to work, then it's probably not going to work. But if you're allowing things to work, the empress just allows things to exist, then, I think that could be a good clue for you. So again, I would be looking, and sorry, I didn't even clarify the first row. I got too excited about that and I jumped forward. We're going to come back to that in a minute. But again, I think if you would allow things to happen, then your life would be a lot easier. So we're going to actually clarify first. With the Emperor, you have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is about following your excitement and your enthusiasm. It's like what gets you the most excited. Everybody gets this right now. I think the universe is trying to bring more joy, love, happiness down on Earth, and that's like one of the ways that we could do it. With the Five of Wands, you have the Temperance card. It's like some things can't be mixed together. I'm getting like oil and water here is what's popping into my head. So again, it's funny that I skipped forward because I probably wouldn't have, this probably wouldn't have popped in my head if I didn't. But, going back to like trying to force things to work, I think that some things are just not meant to mix together. And that's really what I'm getting off of this Temperance card. And again, I have no clue what it is. I don't know your life. I don't know the ins and outs of your life. I'm reading for a ton of you, but what I would say is, are you trying to get certain things to work that just aren't mixing together? And I feel those are the things that you should like sacrifice with the Ace of Swords coming up, which we'll talk about in just a second. But I feel like there are other things that do mix really well together, and that's what I would be focusing on. With the Eight of Swords, you have the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands is out with the old, in with the new. You get something about this a lot in your readings, Taurus, I would say. I think that you have an old life that is almost a comfort zone or an old part of your story. It's like something that is comfortable for you, like a certain way of doing things or a certain way of living or being. And it's like, not that there's anything wrong with it, but I think we're in a time of evolution, and I feel the universe is trying to inspire you to take action towards new ideas, right? You have the Ace of Swords, the Five of Swords, and the Queen of Pentacles. The Ace of Swords can represent a sacrifice. There's this palm frond right here, olive branch over here. The palm frond represents kind of like the sacrifice or sacrificing something. The olive branch can represent an offer of peace, or it can represent abundance as well. And so with the Ace of Swords, it cuts both ways, and we sometimes have to cut one thing out so that we can have something else that's better. And I feel like the Ace of Swords is saying it's time to, cut out the old part of your story and time for you to embrace this, like a new story or something new. And I feel like it's something that you can almost intuitively see because we have the Seven of Cups here. The Seven of Cups, he's dreaming. The Star card can also represent a dream that you have or dreaming of something that you want to create in your life. And I feel like that Seven of Cups is saying, there are good things and bad things in those cups. So you could be imagining something where it's like there are good parts and bad parts, but I feel like you have to kind of sacrifice the old story to get to the good parts of that Seven of Cups. The Five of Swords would also represent kind of like cutting something out. I think that you're cutting things out for focus, like I said. So if there are things that are stealing your focus, or again, if you're working on projects, business ideas, careers, whatever you're doing, if there are things that are not worth it, then I think you need to look at those things and get rid of them. I also feel you need to like take the time to see it. Like I said, I get on that Five of Wands, I get this energy of like being spread too thin and, kind of like doing too much, which I feel like is interrupting your focus or your ability to focus. It's like if you're focusing on too much, then you don't have the time to see what's working, what's not working. And so I would make sure that you're doing something about that, right? And, this could mean that you have to like eliminate a project from your life, or that you have to like really double down on the good stuff or whatever. You have the Queen of Pentacles. I feel pretty good about this week for money. This whole second half of July, seems pretty good for finances. So I feel that the Queen of Pentacles is about protecting your finances. She's also about being resourceful as well. And I think that it's an amazing time to tap into our resources, make sure that we're being resourceful, to make sure that we're not like wasting money and all that other stuff. So I would definitely do that. But going up here, you go to the Six of Pentacles to the Two of Cups. Two of Cups can be you and your higher self, or it can say that you're communicating with your higher self. And what I feel here is that you are being like intuitively guided towards abundance, but the other thing is like, I feel like this is abundance where you don't have to fight for it. And that's definitely popping into my head. right now, I feel like some of you are doing something where it's a battle. It's like every single day is a battle. And I feel like there's just another opportunity for you that could be coming in for you where it's like not a battle and you'll be making your mark, as that first card says. With the Ace of Swords, you have the Five of Cups. Five of Cups is about, again, needing to release something that has spilt over. He's got those 3 cups in front of him. The story of him on the Five of Cups is that he's lost his taste for wine. So he doesn't even enjoy doing something anymore. He's just like going through the motions, right? But there's something better behind him that leads to the bridge and the castle. And I kind of get that feeling. Again, if you are doing something where you're just going through the motions and it just feels like you're just going through the emotions, then that could be the clue for you of what you need to cut out of your life. If something has become mundane or it lacks excitement or it doesn't fulfill you, then I think that is a clue that you need to kind of like do something else, right? Or you need to move on from something. And my ear is ringing right now, which is confirmation for me. With the Five of Swords, you have the Eight of Pentacles. Yes, definitely improvements. Again, once you get rid of whatever this thing is, again, for some of you, I feel like it's a project. For others, it could be your current position or whatever. Maybe there's something better that you can go and get. Of course, as I say, to everyone, I wouldn't just like quit your job right now and then hope to find something. I would go find something and then quit once you get it and make sure you actually get it, right? But what I would say is I feel like there's something that's much more worth it. Eight of Pentacles is mastering a craft as well. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Seven of Wands. It's like I wouldn't like worry too much about like trying to protect people at this time. It is kind of like what's popping into my head. Like if you're worried that you're going to hurt someone's feelings or that you're going to hurt a group of people if you leave your job. I know like a lot of people have that fear. I think sometimes like, oh, if I leave, these friends that I made are going to be mad or, whatever. I would like let those fears go. We do see multiple sevens. 777, so there's 3 sevens here. 2 sevens together to me represents internal fears that don't exist, so definitely would be a good time to release those fears. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this eagle and this hummingbird. The eagle kind of represents power and also represents you soaring to new heights. The hummingbird represents getting to your reward, and the hummingbird goes on long journeys to get its nectar. And so, the card itself says that you've been on a very long journey, and now you are getting your reward. Funny enough, also this hummingbird, sorry, wrong camera, or sorry, wrong hand, right here. It has that ruby throat, so it's like your throat chakra. And I feel like this is your future self is telling you to speak up. So again, maybe you need to tell your boss that you need a raise or a promotion. Maybe you need to speak up and go find something new. But whatever it is, I think it's time to kind of speak up. You have the Seven of Cups, the Six of Pentacles, and the Seven of Swords. The Seven of Cups is about being spoiled for choice, having a lot of options in life. Again, I feel like you see the vision of you creating something great. I think that the problem is like there's too many steps in your life going on. Like this is how I see it in my head for you here, Taurus. It's like I feel like you're spread too thin, 5 of Wands, whatever that means for you. And it's like there's too many steps for each thing that you're trying to accomplish right now. And so it's like instead of just like focusing on one path and kind of like finishing like one thing, it's like I feel like you're jumping around all over the place between steps. I hope that makes sense. And I feel like this is saying it's like yes, I feel the pressure right going on here, and yes, I do feel like there's pressure. But it's like if you would just stop and do one thing at a time, I think before you know it, you would accomplish everything you need to accomplish. So, like I said, I think focus is very important. You also have the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles, again, is telling me to focus on what's important. Six of Pentacles says invest seeds in things that are growing. It's a card of equal give and take, but he's giving to this person, not this person. This guy here, he's choosing who to give to, and this does not have to be money. This could be your time, effort, your energy, your attention, could be anything. But he's making sure that he is giving, the high vibration version of this card would say that he is making sure to give to what is going to grow. And that's the whole entire reading is basically just repeating itself and saying you need to make sure that you're giving to things that are growing and not giving to things that aren't. You have the Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords can be lying, cheating, stealing, but Seven of Swords is really a card of tactics, and so he's doing things in a better way. And I believe personally that we are in a time of tactics or needing to be tactical. It's like if anything you want to accomplish, you can probably accomplish it and be very successful, but the way that you're going to accomplish it could be, could be not how you think. So the Seven of Swords says learn as a different approach to what you're trying to accomplish. Like if you're working on a project or a business or your career, it's like, is there a different way to get there? And I don't know, I can't answer that question for you. So again, I would do your research. The Seven of Swords can also represent taking things too seriously, and all the readings for the middle of July were about being more playful, having more fun. With the Seven of Cups, you have the Eight of Cups here. Yeah, definitely I feel you're like walking away from something. Something that just isn't fulfilling you, or something that isn't focusing. There we go. So I feel that the Eight of Cups is saying that you could be walking away from something that just isn't bringing you closer to your goal. So I would pay attention to that. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Hermit. The Hermit is about going through dark night of the soul. He normally has a star in his lantern. On this Hermit, he has the star right here. And, I always say with the Hermit that he needs to like shine his light out all over the place. He needs to release that star to the world. So I feel for a lot of you that this is saying that you need to like shine your light all over the place, and you even go down to the star. And so it's almost a little bit like I've been saying this whole time. I feel like this reading is kind of like saying you're holding yourself back from making your mark, and I don't think that you have to. So there you go. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands says be bold, be assertive, be confident, and really go for what you want. She has to do something without knowing whether it's going to work or not. The whole point of her is she has no salamanders on her cloak. All the other fire court cards have salamanders, which represent protection from fire, which represents protection from risk. So it's almost like this reading is saying you're about to do something where you don't know how it's going to turn out, but you have to do it anyway. So I would get a move on here, Taurus, and I think you will be happy that you did. Next, and you can't make this up, you have this cow spirit says miracles are endless. You also have this frog spirit says clear out the clutter. That is what this reading is talking about. This is coming up in the good stuff, so I feel like you will be doing this, but it's almost like now is the time for Taurus to come back and be a cow, right? Now is time for you to start experiencing miracles in your life, and I think that the way that you're going to do this is by not spreading yourself too thin. I'm a big fan of action taking. I pretty much preach it in all my readings, but really, I feel like this reading is saying it's time, nothing that's going to work is going to take an enormous amount of effort. Everything requires effort. Like, I don't believe we can just sit around and do nothing, right? But I also think that there's the other side of the scale, which is like trying to force things to work that are not going to work, or, overworking yourself and overdoing things. And I feel like this is saying the things in your life that are going to work right now, again, I'm not saying they're going to be easy, but they're going to work, right? I think that you have some things in your life that you're working on that aren't working. And I would pay attention to that. Clear out the clutter. Do what works. Focus on that, right? No matter what. You have the Two of Cups, Six of Swords, and the Star. The Two of Cups is like a perfect match. I wouldn't really call this a love reading. I think this is all about you. The Two of Cups to me is you and your higher self, and so I think it would be an amazing time for you to communicate with your higher self. We can do that through like meditation, dreams, paying attention to synchronicities, paying attention to how we're feeling in the moment, all those things. That's how we communicate with our higher self. And you have that hummingbird, which was like root chakra energy there, throat chakra. And so I feel for a lot of you, this is about communicating with your higher self and like really paying attention to whether or not what you're doing is in alignment. The funny thing is I think it's obvious, but when you're in the moment, it's not obvious. Like, trust me, as a person who has like wasted a bunch of time on projects that just go nowhere, it's like I could have seen that 99% of them were going nowhere, within like a week, right? Let's put it that way. So, again, I think that it's the things that are not going to work are very obvious. The things that are going to work are more obvious. They're still going to require effort, but, again, I think that there will be a general flow. You have the Six of Swords, moving on to calmer shores. Yeah, I really feel you need to pay attention to conflict, or even just the feeling of conflict inside of you. This doesn't mean you're going to be like, punching people in the face left and right. What this means is there might just be a slight feeling inside of you that something is not working, and I feel those are the things that you need to work on. And like I said, it could be very, very subtle. It might not be this big, battle or anything like that. So, I kind of feel you need to pay attention to your intuition. And, Six of Swords, I mean, it could be a card of intuition, but, really it's not. You have the Star. Probably your most important card here, second most important. Again, the Five of Wands really stands out to me because I feel like that the Five of Wands is talking about the emotion that you need to focus on to move forward, to get out of being spread too thin. And I feel like the Star is important because it's saying you need a North Star. Notice how there are seven stars around the big star in the middle, but the Star is like is having a North Star, focusing on the big picture, needing to kind of focus on having a North Star, that one thing that guides you, that makes you successful. So again, I think instead of focusing on, like 7 things, I would focus on one. I'll tell you this. It's like I've worked with a lot of people on YouTube growing their channels and things like that. And it's like one thing I've noticed is that some people, and I'm not picking on anyone here or, saying that I'm better than anyone. Everybody, anytime I talk about this, people are like, oh, you think you're better than anyone. I'm like, no, I'm just telling a story. Chill out. So what I would say here is that, I've seen a lot of people where they think they want to grow like a YouTube channel, for example, and they come up with all these kind of like little requirements. So they're like, oh, I have to, get this many views on this video before I can move on to the next one. And like all this other stuff. They create these like little stars around it, right? Instead of just focusing on the big picture and kind of working towards the main goal. And I kind of feel that with the Star. It's like saying maybe you've put requirements on yourself, but maybe God, the universe, whatever you believe in, is like, well, those aren't the requirements you need to meet to get to the goal. So I feel like the Star is almost like saying, just start working towards the big thing. Don't worry about all those little things. With the Two of Cups, you have the Ten of Cups. Ten of Cups is like fortune after difficulty. It could be love, but, really I feel like this reading is saying, you have that card that says miracles are endless, and the Ten of Cups definitely could represent miracles. So I feel like it's saying that you are being guided towards miracles, but it's going to come from kind of like really tapping in and really being in alignment. I feel like maybe it would be a good time for you to be quiet somewhere. It's like, especially if you're a Taurus who has been running around like a chicken with your head cut off, if you feel like you've been doing a lot, I feel like really, really, really taking some focused time to just tap in would be a really good idea for you. With the Six of Swords, you have the Ten of Swords. Yes, you are definitely ending something, or you're definitely, if you haven't already, you are definitely leaving something behind. So it wouldn't surprise me if you're sacrificing something. But Ten of Swords is a blessing in disguise. So whatever you are releasing is a blessing. With the Star, you have the Page of Pentacles. Page of Pentacles, like good news. There's a little bit of a message of listening, and there's a little bit of a message of communication in this reading. So I feel that for a lot of you, that this could be messages or communication coming in. You have this heart card. It says love, deep affection, and caring. Wouldn't be a Taurus reading this year without a heart card, right? So you for once, you don't have the Queen of Cups, but here you go. Follow your heart with that. You have this horseshoe. It says good luck. Yes, I think that there is a lot. It is a very lucky time for you. But again, if you're doing things like spreading yourself too thin, then you're not going to experience luck. You have this tankard. It says celebration, fun, and enjoyment. Yeah, I mean, for the mid-monthly readings and now this weekly readings, all the ones I've done so far have all been talking about like needing to enjoy yourself more, needing to have more fun, all that other good stuff. So I would definitely do that. You have this Tower card, says solid foundation, success with effort. Yes, it's like things are going to be kind of like they're going to have a nice flow, but there's still going to be effort that is required. You have this butterfly. It says a change for the better. There you go. Love it. So I definitely feel you're heading towards a change for the better. But this looks really good. Interesting. I would say probably an interesting reading. Let's put it that way. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.